My boys, we have a wonderful machine in our possession, having until we fully explore the full potential of this miraculous machine. We shall tell no one.
Hi. Today we're going to be talking about the 26-26 sequence. Now the 26-26 sequence is equal to a 25 and a 46. Why is that? Now, here is your 26 and here is your 26. The way you add up 26 plus 26 by using regular mathematics. Now this is second grade level mathematics. The most difficult thing about random sequencing that there is math involved. It's second grade level. I hope that's not a problem. And there's random sequencing mathematics, which is even simpler. In other words, the first year, either a 5-year-old or a first grader could learn random sequencing math. But the most difficult thing about random sequencing is second grade level mathematics. All right. So as you can see here, we have a 26-26 sequence. So we've already established what the environment is going to be playing out. So what is equal to 26-26? Okay, in regular mathematics, 26 plus 26 is equal to 52, right? Which there is no single cell that makes up a 52 in the roulette spins. In roulette, every sequence is below 36, or not below 36, but in other words, there is no single cell where you're going to see a 52. So the 52 is represented by a 25. So basically that's kind of like a reverse sequence. So in this case, we can see right here that this 25 is actually 52 because of this sequence. So virtually this number is a 52. And then another thing, so here we have random math, right? So how do you add 26 plus 26 in random sequencing? Because it's equal 46, right? So the way you add the random sequence mathematics is if it's 26 is equal to 66, because the 26 carries the statement 2 sixes, right? 2 sixes, which is equal to 6. So since we have two expressions here, right, 26 and 26, this 26 is equal to 6. So in essence, we have like 4 sixes, right? Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. So how do you spell out 4 sixes? Well, this is 1 6, this is 2 6, and this is 3 6. So this is 4 6. So how do you write out 4 6? 4 6. So these sixes represent 46. So the thing is that we already know what numbers that we're expecting. We're either expecting because there is no single sequence here that you could spell out 46. In other words, if you're going to spell out 46, it has to be separated, right? So the numbers that we're expecting is a 4, a 6, or a 25. Now, one thing to note that it could be a composite number. In other words, it could be a composite number where you have like a 6 here and a 4 here, right? That's no problem. Okay, but if you wanted to play out the variables, definitely you would have to play out a 4 and a 6 and a 25, right? So those are the three options that you could play out. So as you could see, we have the sequence played out here. And it didn't play out the 4, 6, or 25, right? It has to happen within like a very close proximity. In other words, it has to happen within like a half step, or a half step over here, or a half step over here, or a half step over here, right? And as you can see, it didn't play out here, right? So the next place where it could play out is going to be either here, or here, or here. So assuming that it's going to play that we're going to play out this sequence here. So what are the numbers we're going to play out? We're going to play out a 4, a 6, and 25, right? So if we play out these three numbers, you're going to hit on this 4. So we hit. So now we're expecting that it's going to spell out 46, right? So we're going to play out a 6. So reason number 2 is that if you look over here, you have a 33. So sometimes you get 33 sequenced to 6 because 3 plus 3 is equal to 6. So that gives this sequence even higher probability. So knowing that we are expecting a 46, and then you have reason 2 right there, so this makes this sequence very, very, very high probability. So we play out a 6. So in essence, we're still going to be playing out these sequences 4, 6, and 25, even in this cell. But we're going to give high probability on the 6. That's the thing. So now we're at this cell right here. And so we're expecting it to play out a 25, right? Because that's the only number that's missing, right? That's the only number that's missing because it represents 52. So we're going to play out the 25 because it has to be like a half a sequence away, right? So this is a half sequence. It didn't pan out. It played out 28. So that's okay. And over here, it's already kind of far away, right? Because this is no longer a half step. I mean, from here to here is no longer it's a whole step. This is more like a whole step. This is the half step. This is a half step, so that makes a whole step, right? So it's kind of stretched out. But the thing to note is that you have the 0 zeros. The 0 0 is the C statement. It's like the double I's, right? Here's an I and here's an I. So it's seen. So it has the I's. And what this I's is, it's the I's for this sequence here. The 26, 26 is seen. It's seeing this area right here because this is the next cell where the 25 could be played out. So now this is a half step away from the I's of the 26, 26. So this is okay now. It makes this sequence available. So now we're going to play out the number that's actually missing, which happens to be the 25. So there's a good chance that the 25 is going to be playing out here, and it did. So now I want you to notice one thing. Notice that you have a statement here. It says 2 4 6s. So this statement is kind of saying that there's going to be 2 46s. So we already have one 46 here. So another 46 is going to play out, right? So it could be a composite number, like here's the 36, right? So it could be a composite number where it's this 6 is going to link to a 4. So if you look at where the 46 is being played out, it's being played out within this area, right? It's not going to go out this way. It's going to be played out over here. So now we're kind of hoping that we're going to find a number that either has a 4 or a number that has a 6. So as you can see, there is no 4 here or a 6. No 4 or a 6, right? No 4 or a 6 here. No 4 or a 6 here, right? But if this number has a 6, right? So if it has a 6, what's missing? If it has a 6, what's missing is a 4. So we're going to assume that this sequence is going to this 6 is going to sequence to a 4. So in essence, what is that number? The numbers that are missing. Okay. So if it has to have a 4, you play all 4s, because if you play out 4, you play out 46. If you play out a 14, it'll also create a 46. If you play out 24, it'll also connect to a 6. If you play out a 34, it will also connect to a 46. So in essence, if you wanted to, you could just spell it out. In other words, you could put a 4 right there, right? And then this is the X factor. You don't know what this X factor is. So the options of the X factor right here is only going to be a 1, a 2, or a 3, right? So if it was a 1, it'll be 14. If it's a 2, it'll be 24. If it's a 3, it's going to be 34, right? But what happens if it's just a 4? In other words, it's just a single number. That would be okay because it makes 46. So you want to play all 4s, and that would be 4, 14, 24, and 34, and you hit. So I hope you enjoyed this sequence. It's called the 26-26 sequence, which is equal to 25, and it's equal to 46. So that generally ends this whole sequence environment. But so in other words, you have to know what environment that you are in, and that environment will be played out.
And folks, as always, please click the subscribe button below, show some love, give me some thumbs up. I have links below with PayPal and Patreon. And I will see you on the next wonderful world of random sequencing.